What's going on, everybody? Crazy Dog back with another Cleveland Guardians video for you guys. And for the first time since 2012, the Guardians will have a new manager, as of course Terry Francona announced his retirement without actually announcing his retirement. For those who don't quite get it, Tito never really came out and officially said that he was retiring. But he mentioned in an interview a while back on SiriusXM that his body was telling him that it's time. And Guardians fans and media alike all took that as Tito pretty much saying that this is his final year. And Tito essentially just went with it. He never really came out and officially said that he was retiring. So pretty much, he said he was retiring without actually saying it. And I think he did that because he didn't want to become a distraction, which is fine. Because remember, at the time, the Guardians were in the midst of the AL Central race. But yeah, I get it, though. Don't want to become a distraction. That's perfectly fine, But just based off of how he was managing, we knew that, that time was coming. And of course, that would be this year. Now, am I sad? Yeah. I mean, the dude was our manager since 2012-13, and this was arguably the most fun I've had watching the Guardians. This was probably the most successful run that the Guardians have had since the 90s. I mean, prior to Tito coming in, look who we had as manager, right? Eric Wedge. Okay, I mean, he had some decent years. He had that one amazing year in 07, but other than that, not really much there. And then you had Manny Acta. My God, talk about ass. Ha! Call him Manny Asta. Now, what's really funny is, look at the final years of Eric Wedge, Manny Acta, and Terry Francona, and you'll notice something. In their final years, the Guardians were bad. Isn't that crazy? I don't think we've had a manager go out with a winning record in a while. Like, that's freaking crazy. Now, of course, whoever the Guardians choose to be their next manager will have massive shoes to fill. As we look at Tito's record as Guardians manager, he went 921 and 757 in 11 years. Crazy enough, he only had 17 ejections. Like, that's crazy. Like, you really have to piss him off to get him to snap at you. That's freaking crazy, right? Yeah, Terry Francona is the winningest manager in Guardians/Indians history. He blew past Lou Boudreau. Mike Hargrove, Tris Speaker, come on now. Al Lopez, Eric Wedge. That's the top 6. Rounding out the top 10, you have Roger Peckinpah, Nap LaJoy, Lee Fole, and Pat Corrales. That's freaking crazy. But like I said, whoever takes over is going to have massive shoes to fill. We'll see who they choose. Now, as far as potential candidates go, shout out to Paul Hoynes. He did an article a little while back. I talked about it a little bit in my stream last night. And Paul listed 15 potential candidates. Now, in this video, I'm going to go over my 5 top candidates from this list. So in case you didn't watch my stream last night, and you don't really feel like going back to watch it, I'm going to go through those 15 candidates right now, and then I'm going to give you my top 5 out of those names. So we're going to start off with the internal candidates that Paul mentioned. Of course, you have first base coach Sandy Alomar, bench coach DeMarlo Hale, John McDonald, minor league field coordinator, and finally, third base coach Mike Sarbaugh. Honestly, the most popular of those names is probably DeMarlo Hale. Yeah, I don't think Sandy would want to manage again, and Sarbaugh, I don't really know about him too much. Now, starting with the external options, you have Milwaukee manager Craig Counsell, then you have Texas Rangers associate manager Will Venable, Giants bench coach, interim manager Kai Correa, Atlanta Braves bench coach Walt Weiss, Milwaukee bench coach Pat Murphy, MLB Network host Mark DeRosa, Now imagine if we hired him. That would be what you would call a left field hire. Out of nowhere. Like, huh? That would be like the Browns hiring Freddie Kitchens. For real. Like, where did that come from? Of all the candidates, you pick him? I mean, I know he did manage the Team USA World Baseball Classic team, but really? Him? Okay. That would be a head scratcher. Then you have another familiar name, San Diego Padres pitching coach Ruben Niebla, who actually was with the Guardians before going to the Padres. He was our pitching coach. He was largely responsible for the pitching factory that we have right now. Of course, he took over that job after Matt Flake left for New York, and then 1 year later we lose Ruben Niebla, and now here we are. Right? It'd be cool to bring back Ruben, not gonna lie. And then to round out the list, Paul mentioned Cubs first base coach Mike Napoli. Well, that would be cool. Houston bench coach Joe Espada. San Diego manager Bob Melvin. And finally, Padres third base coach Mike Shildt. Now, out of those 15 names, here are my top 5. Starting off with the internal candidate, DeMarlo Hale. Obviously, he did manage for a little while when Tito was dealing with health issues, so at least he's had experience running things. I think if they were to go internal, I think DeMarlo would be the right choice, but I don't think they're going to go internal this time around. Coming up with my external options, this was pretty tough, but I think these guys are all really legit options. First off, we have Joe Espada, Houston bench coach, Will Venable. Then you have Bob Melvin. And finally, the big one, Craig Counsell. Now, I did mention Will Venable as the bench coach, although technically he's the associate manager. So he's practically like a bench coach manager type, I guess. But yeah, these are the 5 targets that I think would really, really look good for the Guardians. If I had to choose one, I'd say Bob Melvin. One, he's obviously been a manager before in Oakland and San Diego, and he's managed a small market team before. So he's not always had, these top flight players. He knows how to work with youngsters. Not to mention, we have Ramon Laureano, who I'm sure he knows quite well from his days in Oakland. That'd be pretty cool, but personally, I would either go with Joe Espada, Will Venable, or Bob Melvin. Let me know what you guys think down in the comments. Who would you go with? And by the way, I will put the link to the article in the description. And out of those 15, tell me who you'd want. Tell me your top 5. So with that being said, guys, that's all I got for you today. I might post another video soon. Maybe today, maybe tomorrow, talking about the Browns and stuff. But with that being said, that's going to wrap it up for this video. Shout out to everyone who came through in my stream last night. And shout out to everyone watching. As always, be sure to hit the like button, subscribe, hit the bell. And I will see you all later tonight for my Week 5 picks. So with that being said, I'm Crazy Dog. Let's go, Guardians. And I'm out. Bye-bye.